I'm Executive Director Kevin Robertson, and this is the KDA Video Minute for Friday, February 21st. Okay, so expanding on some of the things we talked about last week with the Video Minute in this legislative week, we had two bills that were up for hearings this week. First of all, on Monday, House Bill 2611 was heard. That's a bill that changes the 50% rule as it applies to satellite offices from a 50% rule to a 20% rule. Dr. Brett Roofs, Dr. Bob Fry, and Dr. Dan Thomas testified on that bill, as well as myself. That bill got a very favorable response, and on Monday of next week, so the 24th, we expect the House Committee on Health and Human Services to take action on that bill. The Kansas Dental Association is forwarding that bill as a way to increase access to care by reducing some of the restrictions on satellite practices, but yet keeping sort of the traditional values of the 50% rule, meaning our beliefs that patients are best served when the owner dentist has a hand in supervision of those employee dentists that are working in those satellite practices and overseeing the operations of that satellite practice. So that will keep that basic principle intact while then reducing some of those requirements. Also, on Wednesday last week in the House Committee on Health and Human Services was the bill on fluoride, the anti-fluoride bill, I guess. It was House Bill 2372. It was an interesting hearing, as fluoride issues often are. Several of us from the oral health community, including Kansas Dental Association, our own Greg Hill, Assistant Executive Director, testified on our behalf, as well as Dr. Lucinda Rabin. Oral Health Kansas, Kansas Action for Children, several others testified opposing House Bill 2372, which would require municipalities that have community water fluoridation to have a warning in those bills saying that water fluoridation or fluoride lowers the IQ in children. The bill hearing went very well for us as opposing the bill. We know the committee is going to take action on that bill on Monday, and we expect that action will be to formally kill that bill and certainly not pass it on. So we feel very, very good about the way that hearing went. Also, again, over the last week or so, we've heard a lot about KanCare, Medicaid expansion. It seems that about every other day, a dentist or myself is being interviewed in the newspaper and a new article appearing on radio interviews or on television. We continue to talk about some of the administrative burdens and concerns that we have with KanCare, yet still working with DentaQuest and Scion, particularly to try to work those out. So those have been ongoing and really have been pushed by entities other than ourselves, but we certainly welcome the opportunity to talk about our concerns with KanCare, to try to correct them, and to help our provider dentists that are KanCare providers and increase that provider network. I would say also, again, just to mention the mid-level issue, have not heard anything substantial about mid-levels as far as a possible hearing or anything like that. Again, we will keep you informed should we hear anything about a mid-level hearing moving forward. Again, we have talked in the past about the House of Origin deadline. That is next week for all bills. So particularly when we talk about House Bill 2611, that's a regular committee bill. We expect that bill to come out of committee on Monday. It'll be up for floor debate on the full House on probably Thursday, and that'll get that out of the full House prior to the Friday deadline on the 28th. So that's how that works. We've talked before about there are some exemptions, and these mid-level bills are exempt from those deadlines. So even if after next week they have not had a hearing, that does not mean they could not have a hearing. So we need to, again, make sure our members are well aware of that and not be complacent thinking that it's a dead issue for this session. Of course, we're very excited that next week is our 13th Kansas Mission Mercy Project. For the first time ever, we'll be in Dodge City, Kansas. Dr. Rick McFadden and Dr. Richard Stein have been chairing the KMOM Local Arrangements Committee. Dr. Brett Roofs and others kind of on the statewide level have spent a lot of time and effort in Dodge City working with the local community, working with the America's Dentist Care Foundation and others in order to make that happen. So will be in Dodge City on February 28th and March 1st. Hope that you have signed up for that. There's still an opportunity to sign up if you'd like. You can find registration on the KDA or the KDCF website. So please do that, and we look forward to seeing many of you next week in Dodge City. I want to continue to remind everyone that the Kansas Dental Association will again be cozying up with the UMKC Midwest Dental Conference. That's Thursday, April 10th through Saturday, April 12th. The KDA will have its board meeting on April 11th and then our annual meeting on April 12th on that Saturday. But then on that Friday morning from 9 to 11:30 is our annual Real World Transition Brunch, where we put the students in, that obviously will be graduating and looking for practice opportunities in contact with dentists and clinics that would be interested in hiring dentists. So that information is being put together right now. If you are a dentist looking to transition your practice, looking for an associate, or involved in a community that would like to find a dentist, please pay attention to that and look to attend the Real World Transition Brunch on Friday, April 11th. Of course, next week is KMOM, as we mentioned, so there will not be a traditional video minute, but we will keep you up to date on issues with the legislature, 2611 and the Fluoride Bill, when those pass, through our social media and other outlets that we use, Facebook, what have you. And then also on the Foundation website, Greg will be sending out updates as far as how many patients we've seen and where we are with counts, and kind of keeping you informed on what's going on with Kansas Mission University in Dodge City. So I hope to see many of you next week in Dodge City. For the rest of you, we'll see you in a couple weeks with the next KDA Video Minute. Thank you.